Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Long Guns Podcast. How are we?
Good,
Good,
good.
good,
How are
man.
you?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. I was just saying this to someone just before you guys joined. Sleep deprived, obviously, now trying to catch up live last couple of days has been wonderful, but also at the same time, it doesn't help when you have other stuff to take care during the day. But really quickly, let's get into the details of obviously day three and day two. So quick summary in terms of where the game stands, right? India 358 for 9 with a wicket in hand. They still trailed by 116. Uh, Obviously, we have day four that's going to start early today, and obviously things has sort of, in my opinion, still open. All three results are still possible. Be it win for Australia, a draw, or it could be maybe an upset by India is very much feasible. It's how I see things. But let's probably shift focus onto day two. And Punk, Amar, we kind of spoke about this right when we discussed day one. In terms of what the approach should be for day two. And one of the things we did call out is the first hour, how crucial it is given the second new ball was just 6 overs old. So there's an opportunity for India to make early inroads. Obviously, unfortunately, that's not how things unfolded. But yeah, let's start maybe with Stephen Smith and Cummins' partnership. Punk, I'll start with you. Your thoughts on the second day two approach.
I did send you a short video how I felt. So let me go back again to this. Rohit, it's like I don't know. He left his brain somewhere when it came to seeing Jadeja. One of the greatest bowlers against right-hand batsmen. There are two righties, and he's troubled both of them. His first change should have been, getting Jadeja there. To bowl against them. But kudos to the opponent can only do as much what the other captain dishes out, right? So he gave him Siraj. They batted long. They scored
Mhm.
this whatever 100 runs or something. Good partnership, and they basically they're in a position now because of that partnership that from there it's very difficult for them to lose, right? Until unless like they have a massive collapse in second innings. But that
Mhm.
partnership really they've like put a stranglehold on India's thinking process
Mhm.
entirely. And yeah, so it was a good partnership basically. India did not do the right changes, did not get the right field, especially Jadeja. And when once Jadeja came in, you saw how difficult it was for Pat Cummins. You just needed Pat Cummins, then because naturally Steve Smith will still play around. But if you
Mhm.
start getting wickets from the other end, then you still have control. So really bad captaincy of from Rohit, especially with that partnership going on and having Jadeja in your hands,
Mhm.
who does really well with right-handers. I
Yeah.
don't know what happened. Brain fade, another brain fade after Kohli.
Fair enough. Samar, anything you would like to add?
No, I think day two was the first hour of the day and the last hour of the day was Australia, right? The first hour, like Pankaj mentioned,
Mhm.
Steve Smith and Cummins having that 50-run partnership pushed the score over 400, which was really, really tough, which meant that we will start with a follow-on in mind as opposed to putting a lead. That was one. And then the last hour of the day on day two, we were developing the partnership. Jaiswal was getting into the zone, and unfortunate run out. Now you could blame anybody for the run out, but run outs are run outs.
Yeah.
And then it clearly played on Kohli's mind. He was leaving everything outside off stump before that. And right after that, Boland that MCG and Kohli's weak link. The first and last hour of day two was Australia.
Mhm.
The middle two sections were India. That was day two summary for me.
Absolutely right. So really quickly, obviously, before we go into the details on India's batting, right? I just want to quickly touch upon Steve Smith, right? Someone who started as a leggy. He used to bat lower down the order. For him to be able to be second in the all-time list for Australia to score the most number of centuries, he's on 34, right, just behind Gilchrist. And he's also in the top 10 for the most number of test runs for Australia. Amar, a quick word on Stephen Smith and his contribution.
Yeah, absolute legend, isn't he? Previously, Punk has also, very briefly touched upon how in this series he has changed his stance when that was needed, and when he realized that things are not working according to him, or they should be, then he quickly realized how to counter Bumrah, how to counter India's attack. And that's how he could realize that, and he changed his stance very quickly, and we could see the result now. Of course, he's a great player, great legend, not just by chance. So he has done this throughout his career. Like you mentioned, started as a leg spinner, then came on to up the order, and he's a leading run scorer now. So that shows that how adaptive he is, how quickly he can assess the conditions, how quickly he can assess what the new cricketing generation needs, and where the cricket is going, and he adapts himself to that. So and of course, by doing that, it's not very easy. You have to learn new tricks. You have to learn to play in new conditions with a new type of approach. With, of course, the kind of cricket changing over the years, and these days the approach is changing very, very quickly, and he has managed to not only pick them up but also master them. So that's a great sign, and that's the reason he has survived for so many years. And not only surviving, he's trumping everyone else, really. And even in this series, we saw that he came, in the Australian team, but maybe or maybe not. Not everyone was in the Australian side were happy about his place, but he showed his mettle. He showed that he's still relevant. He's still the champion, and he's still going. He all guns blazing, really. So yeah, this century is marking as his comeback again. People were thinking he might fade away, but this is not happening anytime soon. Great legend.
No, absolutely, that's a great point you made, right? Obviously, now just before the first innings in Brisbane, he was really struggling. Obviously, in terms of scoring runs, he's come off a bad run, where his average was under 15, and then there's a lot of talk about is he still the player he used to be? But for him to obviously bounce back, score a century at Brisbane, and then follow up with another century here, kind of sums up what sort of player he is, and the value he adds for the squad, right? So, and obviously, kudos to Cummins as well. He added some quick runs as well down the order, and that sort of helped Australia kind of post at a big total against India on day 2. So really kind of shifting focus onto the Indian batting, right? And this is something we've discussed numerous times over the last few podcasts and the 3 tests that are passed so far. One of the things we highlighted is what the requirement to have a consistency in terms of the opening pair, and then obviously for someone like Rohit to obviously hit the form. But like we realized, test 4, they made a couple of changes with Rohit going back up the order. That means he pushed Rahul into number 3, and also kind of push someone like Gill out of the squad. And one of the pieces I want to call out, and there's something Pang seems to do a lot these days, which is predictions, where he predicted the series result to be 3-1, which is still a chance. And the second prediction he made on day 1 of this test is for Rohit to now last more than 2 overs. Unfortunately, he sort of predicted that perfectly. And maybe a quick word on Rohit.
I also called out the out as well. How he's going to go out.
Yeah, and after you even mentioned it's going to be bounced out, and that's exactly what happened. But yeah, Pankaj, I'll probably just look to you anything you want to add in terms of where Rohit is in terms of his mindset.
To me,
yes.
He's given up, right? As a captain, he shouldn't have changed the opening stance. He should have come at 1. Wouldn't have made much of a difference, right? Where he was batting at below Pant, that was wrong, because the freedom to hit. Rohit is more of a stroke player, right? He's not like a testman batsman that way. He needs a stroke player. He wanted to go, and if he was batting at in Gill's place, that would have been a very good position as well. Apart from the one which we discussed at number 5, just before Pant. He shouldn't have changed this thing, and that put up a lot of pressure. When KL came in and with Jaiswal, so it gives a lot of pressure when somebody goes out in 1.5 overs, right? And everybody knows who is going to go out. No, just imagine giving a short pitch ball on the 5th ball, and that was the first bowler, right? So crazy, So Australians know what their weaknesses are, and the Indians are actually just doing it over and over again. and they're just playing, to their cards basically. So can't add much. The only thing is, like, second innings, he'll get a chance to bat in second innings, right? He'll open again. I hope, he just takes away his natural instincts and stops playing the pull shot, especially in Melbourne, because of, the boundaries on the offside and the onside, the big boundaries, right? He's not going to clear it easily, right? And this is not a fast and bouncy pitch as well. So even if it's a very fast and bouncy pitch, you would still be able to clear. So he has to be very careful, and which bowlers. Maybe Stark he could, but the other bowlers are not 140 plus, Scott and Cummins, right? The hardly, one or two balls he might, but rest is around the 135, 136 mark. So he has to be very careful how he plays the Australian ball in the second innings. Now he's come up, puts his foot down. What I see, if he struggles this inning, he'll get another chance because he's the captain. And then, most probably that's his end of his career.
Absolutely, and
Fantastic.
hopefully, the opportunity he kind of grabs it, and probably then we'll see probably the Rohit we used to. But really, kind of shifting focus. Someone you made that point obviously about day two with the last star, unfortunate run out. But prior to that, it was a good partnership that kind of developed between Jaiswal and Rahul. Obviously, if not for that, one of the probably the best deliveries in the series by Cummins, to pick Rahul. It was like a good partnership developing there, and then another partnership with Kohli. Maybe a quick word on Jaiswal.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Rahul's been our best batter, right? Nitish Reddy definitely has been our pick, but if you look at pure batters, Rahul has been our top pick for the tour, and he had to get out to that beauty from Pat Cummins. Who else could have produced a fantastic delivery? But up until then, the two cover drives which Rahul had probably were the shots of the game so far, right? Even Steve Smith scoring 100, he didn't have such smooth, silky touch. But yeah, once Rahul got out, all eyes on Virat Kohli. Everybody was interested in seeing what will he do to that fourth and fifth stump line. I think Virat came pretty determined. He was leaving everything outside the off stump. We could see him smile as well sometimes, when he's leaving the ball, which meant that he came prepared. Both of them started putting together fantastic partnership between Jaiswal and Kohli. I think they put together 100 runs in 28 overs, if I'm not wrong.
That's right.
And then, yeah, unfortunately, right in the last 20, 30 minutes passage of play, a run out kicked in. Otherwise, India was starting to get to the decision. We all were feeling really good. Jaiswal was starting to get into the groove. He started scoring freely, and we could see that Jaiswal is up for a daddy 100 again. But unfortunately, the run out kicked in.
Yeah. And that sort of resulted in a couple of wickets as well. That kind of upset Kohli's with them as well. And then the night watchman didn't help the cause either. Quickly, anything you want to add on Kohli? Obviously, you had a lot to say in the previous podcast in terms of the one incident and the expectations from Virat.
Yeah, I said yeah, I had a lot to say that, but I said really, really, I limited myself, and I said really, really less than what I felt. So I would say, yeah, it was forgettable event. Let's leave it at that. Today's innings, India was, as you guys mentioned, India was going really well right from the start. Apart from what we had mentioned, what we discussed, that we shouldn't change the opening pair, and then they did, and then there were two spots to as an experiment. First, the opening slot, which Rohit Sharma took, and the second one is the one down. So both of them were like, because why would you move KL Rahul when he was doing well? Well, you don't move them. If anyone had to be moved, when Gill was not picked, then Rohit Sharma should have been at number 3. But anyways, that happened, and as we saw, he failed again. For whatever reason. I can only advise Rohit Sharma to just watch and learn from Nitish Reddy. Just keep your calm, keep your bat straight, and play every ball to its merits, really. I don't know. maybe he's it looks like he's not doing that, but that would be the if anyone asked Rohit Sharma what a failing Rohit Sharma should do, that's the advice he would give, I think. So he should look look at what Nitish Reddy did. Okay, coming on to Kohli now. Yeah, we talked about showing his whatever fieriness in his batting. It looked like he was in a good place today. He did we did see a couple of cover drives, really good ones, and he was in his moment. But then, of course, that run out happened. Maybe it faltered him a little bit, but knowing him, he has played for so many years. Maybe that shouldn't have happened. That shouldn't have affected him. But nonetheless, again, we saw him nicking a ball outside the off stump. Again, we had talked about whether he's kind of drawn into it or whether he thinks that he's too good, and that's not a weakness for him. That's what he might think, but that's what happened. So, I mean, we can talk about what he should do and what he shouldn't do, really. But at the end of the day, it looks like nothing is working. I mean, people have been advising him. I don't know if he has taken any advice or he thinks that that's the best way to play. But it looks like whether he's trying or whether he's not trying, but that is not working.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's sad to see that a great player like Kohli is in such a situation in a place where he has scored, most of, I wouldn't say most, but plenty of runs, and where he got recognized, really. So it would be difficult for him as well and all the fans to see this. But yeah, I would say, whatever brain freeze happened on day 2, please don't do that again.
Absolutely right. Point noted, and hopefully that what the words spread across, and he sort of acknowledged that as well post the demerit point and the fine that he received. But especially quickly switching focus to day 3, right? Obviously a lot to do. When day 3 kicked on, we're still sort of like 300 runs behind in terms of the deficit, and obviously another 100 something behind on the follow-on as well. A lot kind of dependent on Jadeja and Pant, who were at crease. One of the things I want to call out, and this is something that we all know the way Pant kind of takes the game, and something that kind of worked for him in the past. But the unfortunate dismissal yesterday kind of received a lot of criticism by one of the legends, Sunny G, as they call him. Any thoughts on Pant's approach and the response or feedback that he received?
Yeah, I mean, Sunny G was like a typical uncle, for my opinion. I don't think the words he used were needed. Look, everybody knows how Rishabh Pant plays, right? According to me, if that ball would have gone 10 meters outside the boundary, the same guy would have said, what a fantastic shot. He's the best India has. He's the special talent, blah, blah, blah. But, yeah, as luck plays it out, you could always say that match awareness, but if you see the first boundary which Pant hit for the day, he came out of the woods and hit Pat Cummins over mid-on.
Yeah.
Like you could have said he nicked it and gone to the third slip, and you could have said match awareness, but that's how he plays. I mean, I have my opinion. I mean, I respect Sanirji. It is a Border Gavaskar trophy, but I think his reaction was a little over the board.
Fair enough. Punk, anything you want to add?
I'll come in, right? So I'll just go back to Sam Contis, right? So if you see when Sam was reverse sweeping Bumrah, there was no fielder on the third man area, right?
Yeah.
So once, like he scooped a few of those reverse sweep, he got some runs.
Yeah.
Rohit sent him back. He never reverse swept after that. Yeah, he had the talent. So this is something with Pant. What's happened is, I'll just go back to the interview before this series, like before this match. I don't know, somebody from Australian team, I don't remember. It's there in my mind, but forgot who it was, right? They told, we have a plan for Rishabh Pant. Now you look into the ball, they had fielders behind, right? So whenever Rishabh Pant has scored runs while reverse sweeping, you see, though, you don't have those fielders behind, right? So, and when I tell you, right, reverse sweeping is one of the most difficult shots because you don't know where the ball is going to land. You don't have the exact placement for reverse sweep. You're just pushing the ball, just So the placement is not like accurate as what Snack told about, right? Coming forward or hitting cover drives. You have more control of those shots, right? So when Sunny talked about this, it's about having the match awareness. If those fielders were behind, that means you see it's a plus and minus game, right? So if a captain moves a field, there's only 9, 11 players in the field, right? You can't have additional players. So if Rishabh Pant, they know that he's going to reverse sweep either side, that means you move two players out, right? So you open two places, right? So this is the chess game. You move the pawns out from this thing. So you have more open places to play straight, more control. You've taken them behind. Play forward, man. And this is not like a bouncy track or where you can't do cover. See, this is match awareness. Sunny is a legend of the game. Yeah. And when he tells this, because he saw those fielders behind, it was one of the most ridiculous shots to do. He was really playing well till he, again, another brain freeze from an Indian player. Rishabh Pant is not a newbie, right? I'll talk about Nitish Reddy later on, but just to let you know, you need to play according to the match. You have moved two players out, you play in that direction so that those players come back there, right? Then again, you start reverse quipping because that's how test matches, right? So just to let you know, this is my point of view. I agree with Sunny. I was really pissed off when he did that because there were players behind. If it could have gone for 4, it could have gone for 6, it's fine. But that was the wrong shot because you don't have enough control of the shot when you reverse quip. Just to that's my point of view, though.
Absolutely, yeah. We take that on board, right? Everyone's personal opinion, and we respect that. Amar, anything you want to quickly add on Pant?
Yeah. I'm on this point. I do agree with Sunny Ji, mainly because of the situation and bats. When you're batting in such situations, it's and to be honest, any situation. It is not a T20. So in any situation, or even in T20, it's all about percentage risk you're taking. So what amount of percentage risk you're taking in which situation? If you think about the situation they were in that point of time, he was the most important batsman on the pitch, and even arguably anyone who is coming later on after him. So it was needed that he plays a low percentage risk shots, and that the situation also allows because you're in a test setup on day 3. So even if on that ball, if he would have scored no runs or 1 run, it wouldn't have mattered, right? So if you want to hit a 6 on that, play straight, and that nothing would happen, and then you get again you get a ball, and then you play a high scoring run. But always go in that situation a low risk percentage shots. Like Punk was saying that there were 2 fielders there. You have to move the fielders away from that. That's the game. That's what Test cricket is all about. So if because you want to clear your places of where you want to hit your strength, you just clear it up. The fielder moves, and then you play those shots. That's what. And it also, see, this shot was always going to be either brilliant or really stupid. You can argue that he was really unlucky that he got out. But the thing is, if he got out, he was always going to look stupid every single time in that situation. So it was a very, 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 very high risk shot, which he shouldn't have played at that point of time. Maybe later on, he could have played. So that's my point of view.
Just to add you, right? So just to add to Amar's point, right? It wouldn't have been stupid if he was caught in slip and the fielder was somewhere long on or long off. It would, then I agree, brilliant. That's what Pant is, brilliant. The opponent captain is telling you, there's a Hindi saying, "Aap bhains mujhe maar," or "Aap bail mujhe maar." That is what these guys did. He put the guy, you can see him. They put a setup just for you, and you just playing so what's the use of a test match, right? Any rookie can go and play. They're playing a game against you. You need to play your own game, right? You're going on trap. Kohli was doing it. Pant is doing it, right? You just move the fielders away, play straight. They will have to, he's a very good player of hitting the ball long on, long off. You can hit
Down
those
the ground.
massive sixes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just do that. They will come over you, and then score runs. What's the problem? You'll get out. Fine, getting out in the slip, but wrong getting out on third man and long on. Sorry, deeps, whatever, right? Yeah. So
Finally,
Didn't he
Fine leg,
say?
sorry.
Didn't Pant say to? Was it Jadeja was batting with him?
yeah, he was. Jadu was about right.
Did he say to Jaddu, bata diya kar yaar? What he meant was there was a fielder.
He probably didn't
they had
notice.
put the
Okay,
fielder.
Actually,
so
made the fielder behind.
Yeah. So they had put the fielder behind. Pant noticed that, and he said to Jaddu, "Bata diya kar yaar." Then he goes on to play that shot.
I mean, on a
Crazy.
lighter note, back in the day when we used to play gully cricket, if you ever do that, that's a no ball. You can't have that. You should let the batsman know. Unfortunately, that doesn't work here. It's not applicable. But one of the things, right? I just want to quickly add before we spend too much time on Pant, right? And I tend to, my opinion, so similar to what Suman said, right? Fair enough, right? If it comes off, it's brilliant. Unfortunately, it didn't come off, so he got out and then it looks stupid. But there's two things I've noticed, right? He played a similar shot in the second test. He managed to score a boundary over fine leg. But this shot, even his timing was bad because it somehow scooped onto third man when he tried to hit fine leg. And the second piece, right, and this is something I talk about Pant all the time, and maybe something that's applicable to someone like Constance as well, like going forward. That's their ability. That's their natural game. And they tend to take risks a lot. They tend to come down the pitch or even try and scoop or reverse scoop and all of this stuff. This is something that sort of worked for Pant back in 2021. And he managed to win games for us on a similar approach. And that's probably what he's doing. My opinion is, let Pant do what he does. Certain days it comes off, certain days it doesn't come off. But that's something, maybe the team has to live with. It's how I see it, and all due respect to Taniji, Pangji, Amarji, but that's
but
my
there was
take
no
on it.
fielders when Pant was playing. You'll go and look into the videos.
No, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. He tends to take this risk. Right? He tends to counter.
No, the risk
Sometimes
is
it
fine
comes
when
out,
the
sometimes
fielders
it
are not
doesn't.
there.
Yeah. But yeah, it's what it is, right? So that's a lot of time on Pant. Let's move on to some of the positives. Obviously, on day 3,
Absolutely.
Nitish Kumar Reddy. The two people in the news lately, with the same surname that I'm familiar with is one is a CM in Telangana for obvious reasons, and then this kid here at the BGT, he's lighting it up. 4 series, so 4 games so far, the entire series, and he's been the standout performer, I would say, with the bat in hand, and he's able to deliver obviously with the ball. And then to add, Washington Sundar, and this is something I kind of called out in my first test as well. I wanted Sundar to be in place of Padikkal as well back then because I believed he's a top order batsman. He actually played in the top, he opened for Chennai at one point, when he's playing the Tamil Nadu leagues. But unfortunately, they've had a different plan for him. He was playing in the first game, dropped out for the second and third, and they brought him back. That partnership over 100 runs actually set the tone for day 3. So maybe a quick word on one Nitish Reddy, his century, and then obviously we'll look into Sundar's performance as well. Saman, I'm going to start with you.
Yeah, sure. I mean, 21 years old, third youngest to score the century in Australia. Fantastic, man. I mean, I was also looking at this morning some of his statistics on Twitter. They mentioned that he's got the lowest percentage of fall shots in this tour of Australia, which is, I think, around 14% of his shots were falls. And if I recollect, like I said yesterday, I watched entire day ball by ball. The only fall shot he played was he tried reverse scooping once, Boland. That was the only one. Outside of that, everything he played was middle of the bat, or he left it, or he exactly intended where he went. And yeah, it had to come down to Sundar unfortunately falling off, and then Bumrah creating a little bit of drama, and DSP Siraj. It would have been so disappointing that he would have missed out on the well-earned century. But what a story, man! Everything which we're reading about his family sacrificing, he clicking Virat Kohli picture when he was walking away, not even a selfie, to getting a cap for debut, and now Kohli actually clapping for his century in a Boxing Day. Cannot make this stuff up. I mean, super thrilled about him. So, and plus the most important 100 runs of his career, probably, because this is actually putting India in a spot of winning position if stars align.
Absolutely, yeah. Can't agree more, right? The occasion and and also the situation, right? We were 6 down, we're still like 70, 80 runs behind on the follow on, and for him to like come out and play the way he approached the game, kudos to him. Punk, anything you want to add on Nitish Kumar Reddy? Any special stats you have for him?
One thing which I think, yeah, he's going to replace Virat Kohli at number 4. And like, I'm a big fan of him. Before, when he played for, I was talking always about this. Even in my first podcast, I was just talking about Nitish, right? He's going to be the number 4 batsman for India. What Shuman talked about, fall shots, on that stats are there, right? I saw him like batting till 82, 85, really late in the morning, till that the early break, tea break came in.
Yeah.
He plays straight. He knows which shots to play. And I'll tell you, okay, another stats. He's not good with sorry, what you call bouncers.
Top pitch, yeah.
60% of the bouncers he left it alone. That is an elite cricketer. They're right in front of you. Okay, that is the most difficult thing, because I told you, right, the body line bowling, all that bullshit still goes on. People try to target. Australians do that. They've done in 2021. They were targeting on his rib cage, just here, and that guy was so good enough to leave. And they did like one of the, like, you saw the matrix thing. You might have seen the replay, right? Just see where the ball was, right on his rib cage.
Yeah.
And you see, I need to go back to Siraj and all these guys. Ball over the head, which even Pant cannot do it. You see Australians, they target the ribcage, right? Pujara, if you see 2021 series, all the spots around his body. Jadeja breaking his hand. Where? Right body line bowling. They do it now. Australians always do it, yeah? Because the pitch provides them and they're fast. Reddy, 60% of that, he left alone without touching it. And he knows his weaknesses, right? And that's what I'm trying to say, right? I like cricketer, right? And I see him batting at 4 for India going forward once Kohli retires. So I'm just giving you, that's my prediction, the way he's batted. His bowling, he would improve, but he won't be an elite bowler as such because of the speed. But a very good all-rounder India has found out. He's a very good batsman, very, very good batsman, right? Just to tell you, on that pitch, to bat at that, and some stats about like the number 8 batsman, only 2 batsmen have done it. He's the highest scorer. The last one was an Australian 1900 or something. He's got like 105. The other one was 104. Few more things, right? Suman, I know you talked about the youngest. I'll just ask, which I always ask Amber and Dinesh. Who are the other 2 young batsmen from India who have scored century on debut series in Australia?
Who scored a century on debut against Australia?
So he talked. Suman asked you, Suman Auto, like he's the 3rd batsman to score a debut Test 100 in Australia. I'm asking who's the other 2. Suman, you know that, so don't.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Was it? I don't know.
VVS Lakshman is one of them.
How can you guys not know this shit?
Who's that? Is that Kohli?
No.
No, it wasn't on debut.
Okay.
Debut series. Yeah.
Gill? Right, I give up.
Yeah, me too. Go ahead.
Someone you can go. You want me to? Someone can. Okay, Sachin.
Greatest
When he was
ever
17
Sachin
years
Tendulkar
in Perth.
stands number 1. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead, Pankaj.
Yeah.
I was about to say Sachin,
okay.
but
Sachin, when you were at 17, Perth, that series defined his, that the guys are right. You're 16 years, 17th year in Perth, he scored that century. And the second one, go on, someone we
The
were just
Sunny
talking
G
about
favorite, Rishabh Pant, in the previous tour.
He was
All right.
21 years, 24 days, or 48 days or something. And he's 21 years
Okay.
to 42 days. But just to tell you, he's in a light club, yeah?
Wow. Sachin, I don't know why I couldn't think of him.
One point though. So I think that's a great point. Number 4 position as a pure batter. But Reddy is a utility player, and all the all-rounders are in trouble. Hardik Pandya is in trouble because when he becomes fit, and if Reddy can improve his bowling, he'll be there in the T20s, he'll be there in the 50-over game, and Test cricket he's doing.
Yeah.
Jadeja, once he retires, probably Washington Sundar will take it. And number 3 too. I don't know if Gill is always a starter for us. Utility player. I think Reddy, if groomed well, number 3, 4, or all-rounder. He could play in that middle order as well.
Yeah. He could be the future Steven Smith for India, like, starting as a 7 or 8 and then, go up the order and
No,
then
he,
do the
he
damage.
has a he has a capability of Jack Callis, and Jack Callis used to bat top of the order, right? He's got like loads of runs and loads of wickets. So it's not that. And this guy looks fit. He comes from a background where he knows like he'll keep his body fit. He looks very slim. He it's not like he's not like looks like a natural athlete. Just to give you that, which very rarely you can see Indian players. As Jadeja is one of the natural athletes. You've come a long time, and this guy looks like that.
I mean,
So
I don't want to take the credit, right?
even
It's
a
something
even a
about
Pandya is not a natural athlete. Yeah, just to let you know. So this
Yeah.
is from all the cricketers I've viewed from India, and like this is my personal opinion. He looks like a natural athlete.
Yeah, I can vouch for that, Punk. There's something in the water, right? Us, the hometown boys,
Yes.
we have something in the water. We're natural athletes,
Good.
and
Yeah,
I take
you
some of
are.
the credit. We have a lot in common. Like, it's not just the hometown. It turned out, like, from some of his Insta feeds and Twitter feeds, and we both love some biryani. So, that's what it takes.
That's
Just
the
to add one
secret.
more thing, okay? Just to add one more thing. This is a nice one as well. This is for Suman as well. Yeah, I don't know whether he's read it, but so if you know Suman, don't answer. Yeah, you answer you answer after the DS and Amar. Yeah. So Reddy has scored 8 sixes in this series. Joint highest sixes. Yeah, in this series. Who are the other two batsmen? I'll give you from which country as well. Yeah, so that it becomes easier. Who are the other two batsmen who have scored 8 sixes? Joint highest in Australia in a series. So one is from England and one is from West Indies.
I'd say
Yes.
KP from England.
Okay, Amar.
And maybe. Sorry, go on, Amar.
Oh God. I don't know. I can't.
I'd go with Kevin Peterson for England and Brian Lara maybe for West Indies.
Okay, Amar, you.
I don't know who could have done that. I give up, man. You just.
Okay. So Aniket, if you know the answer, then please answer it.
I don't know, but is it Joe Root and Chris Gale? Chris Gale probably for West Indies.
Okay, you got one right, so at least you got your stats wrong. Right, so Chris Gale is from West Indies, and surprise, surprise, Michael Vaughan.
No way, Michael Vaughan scored sixes.
Yeah. So just to close this thing, just to have a nice laugh, but yeah.
Oh, Michael Vaughan. Yeah, man, he's good with this podcast, so I give credit to him. He's got a good sense of humor and he's good on the commentary as well.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Anyway, like obviously, let's quickly switch focus to day 4, right? In terms of our approach. Obviously, a wicket left. We're still good 100 runs behind, even longer. In fact, 116. So, what should be India's approach in terms of do they just go for it, given Siraj is on the other end, who is so equally good defensive batsman from what I've noticed last night? But yeah, Nitish's approach, should we just go for it, score some quick runs, and then try and pick some early wickets?
Yeah, that's what they should be looking to do because it's 9 down. Wicket can go even first ball tomorrow. So we can't say you hold on to your wicket, and so because that's not going to happen. Even if first over, second over, anytime it can happen. So get as much as you can, throw your bat really, and then first of all start with Bumrah and Akashdeep. Do not get Siraj up front. That is the first thing they should do, and then of course Jadeja with his line and length. Don't give short balls because it might be easier than even today or yesterday really. So that would, and I'm kind of expecting Nitish Reddy to come in and pick up a couple as well. With pitch slowing down, it's a day 4 pitch, so probably he can get some wickets in. But start with Akashdeep, Bumrah, then go on to Chaddu and Sundar. With his height, Sundar can do some tricks as well, maybe off bounce somewhere and get a nick to the slips. Really, so yeah, I'm that's we should try to look positive, and the most important thing is Rohit Sharma has to be proactive. He cannot let Australia drive day 4, because that will be sliding towards or away from India very, very quickly. So he has to be proactive. He has to be on top of his game tomorrow if India has to get anywhere closer to either saving or winning this game.
Yeah. Anything, Punk, you want to add?
Yeah, so I would like to see same Akash and Bumrah opening, because you need that control. Jadeja first change, because see the pitch is now, it's like it was really hot yesterday, and it's going to be hot, right? So you need to give short spells to your fast bowlers. They need to have that energy, right? The other thing is also like Jadeja with the new ball, right? On that pitch, there will be more seam. There's a good chance some ball will skid through, some will turn, and that's why he was getting. I don't know why, in the first innings what happened, like the brain field which Rohit does, that actually ruined, or definitely Cummins would have gone out. He wouldn't have scored that many runs. And Nevis Smith. The other thing is just to let you know, right? A fast bowler, we played fast bowlers, right? If you want to hit fast bowlers, it's easier to hit fast bowlers than spinners, because you need to have a lot of feet movement and a lot of bat speed to hit them for fours or for sixes. So if they go after Jadeja, there's a good chance you'll get catches, because MCB is a big ground. Okay, so there's also tactics there as well in terms of understanding if they want to go. If you give like a Siraj to bowl, and the way he's bowling, you'll see more sixes and more scoops and reverse scoops and shots and all that. So he has to be very careful in terms of how he's going to plan his bowlers, right? Short spells, hot weather, Bumrah maximum 5 overs in the first spell, and then that's it, and then you shift it on with Jadeja and Washi on one side, and then you have the fast bowlers rotating around from the other side. Look at where the there's a lot of footmarks of Stark, so use that accordingly for Washi and also for Jadeja. You have to be very proactive to look at the footmarks of Stark and other. They have bowled 116 overs. So there would be a lot of footmarks for them to bowl as well. So use that in the right bowlers, right places, right side of the wicket as well. That's the thing. The other one is definitely I would like to see these guys batting for at least half an hour if they can. Even if they don't score any runs, that's fine. Because see, this is also like they're already 100 runs plus, right? We need to also take out time out from the game. If say, like as Amar mentioned, it could be the first over itself. Then you'll have like close to, still you'll have 180 overs left, day 4 and day 5. They bat like say 50 overs. They go full on. Say 4 runs per over, 200. So around about 350 is a good target for them to give to India. And they definitely would need say 110 overs to 110 to 120 overs to get India out, because Nathan Leon, he will be coming in the picture because of the cracks opening up and the footmarks and all that. He's very good bowler against right-handers and left-handers. He's a trouble Indian. So they have to see if they can take out some time out as well, give less overs. So Australia needs to bat a bit longer, and that gives a bit of a chance for India to, if not winning this match, then at least they can draw it.
Yeah, and I would like to mention a very, very important point here, that do not shoulder butt anyone. Very important advice.
Point noted. I'll text him tonight.
Yeah.
I'll let him know whoever that is. But yeah, Suman, any final thoughts?
No, nothing. I'm expecting Vivian Siraj to have a 50 score. That'll be awesome. But no, I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, how we start the bowling is crucial. Whatever these two put together will be bonus now. But starting with Akashdeep, both of you are spot on, is going to be crucial for us to drive the next 2 days.
Absolutely. So hopefully things kind of unfold the way we are hoping. But yeah, thanks for your time today, and we'll probably connect in a couple of days' time, depending on how the game unfolds. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks for
Have a good
doing
night.
the stats.
Thanks.
Thank
Take
you.
care. Bye.
Thank you. Cheers. Bye.